ihayag ang pinakahuling kalagayan ng COVID-19 crisis sa bansa at ang mga hakbang na ginagawa ng pamahalaan laban sa pandemya. Mula sa Pangulo ng Republika ng Pilipinas, Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Ito ang Talk to the People on COVID-19.
Okay na, we can start. Magandang gabi po sa ating mga kababayan. We are here in Davao and this is a program which I communicate with the people and convey to them what government is doing. Sa ngayon, I think it would be good to listen to yung tao na magbigay ng clearance sa mga bakuna para magamit sa mga gamit ng mga doktor o medical people para sa injection. Ang reklamo kasi ng mga tao, lumipad siya dito sa Davao because I wanted him to explain to you tonight kung bakit natagalan and how long would the examination of the other vaccines would take, how long it would take the EU office to clear them. You have the floor, Tony Domingo.
Yes, sir. Sir, doktor po ako. Meron po akong presentation na maikli, 10 slides. Can we have the PowerPoint on the updates po ng mga nag-apply po sa atin ng EUA? Yun po kasi ngayon, up to now, wala pa pong fully developed vaccine sa buong mundo. Next slide, please. All vaccines po are still in phase 3. Doon po sa kulay pink. Usually, pag na-complete po yung phase 3, tsaka nagpapa-register. So yung registration po ng vaccines na full commercial marketing authorization, baka po at the earliest would be late end of the year hanggang early next year. So countries now are giving what we call emergency use authorizations. Meaning, in the middle of the phase 3 trials, if we have enough data, we allow it to be used in the public programs. Next slide, please. Ito po yung binigyan nyo ng kapangyarihan ng FDA noong December 1 to issue what we call the emergency use authorization for vaccines and drugs against COVID-19. Next slide, please. So ang ginawa po namin, pinaiksi po namin yung proseso. Dati po ang approval po ng vaccine sa Pilipinas, itong sa kaliwa, 6 months to 1 year. But now we've decreased it, especially kung meron na po siyang approval ng WHO or what we call stringent regulatory authorities like US FDA, tsaka UK. Pag binigay po nila yung submissions doon, tsaka yung mga evaluation doon, we're able to do it in 21 days. Next slide, please. So nag-start po ang application natin noong December 15, doon po nag-start. And we only give the EUA if we have the following conditions. Ito po yung nakalagay sa executive order natin. Number 1, based on the data available at hand, it must show that it is reasonable to believe that the vaccine is effective, may be effective against COVID-19. Second, the known and potential benefits must outweigh the risk. Ibig sabihin po, yung una, efficacy, yung pangalawa, safety. Dapat wala pong any specific or significant safety issue. And third, there must be no approved alternative. Wala pang bakuna na registered. At so far, wala pa naman po talaga. Next slide, please. So it also in the EO, it says that the FDA must create an expert panel, and we have experts po na mga immunologist, allergologist, virologist, epidemiologist, looking at the safety and efficacy data of the vaccine. And then they give the report to me with their recommendations. Next slide. So ito po ang ginagawa natin. Nung pagtanggap po natin ng application, hinahati po natin yan into two. The first one, for the safety and efficacy, the clinical trial data, we give it to the experts. Titingnan po nila. Pag meron po talagang safety issue na nakakatakot, wala na agad yan, stop na agad yan. Pero kung maganda naman yung safety, yung efficacy naman po ang titingnan if it's going to be useful. And then the other half of the submission, yung pong regards the quality, the manufacturing, the stability, the labeling, yung pong mga product information. Sa mga regulator po natin sa FDA yan. Kasi kailangan tingnan natin na yung pina-approve sa WHO, it's exactly the same product that they will be supplying to us. Hindi po kasi pwede na ibang factory o iba yung bote. Kailangan kung ano po yung pina-approve sa US FDA halimbawa, or do sa country nila, yun din ang dadalhin sa atin. And then once the two groups have then made their recommendations, they submit it to my office. And we make a final decision within 1 to 2 days.
Slide 7.
Yes, we continue. You continue with that. These are the things that we should understand. Tayo dito.
Yes, sir.
But not
Sir,
for the public.
Opo, sir. Mamaya, sir, i-explain ko po, sir, sa slide number 7. Sir, kung titingnan po, pakibalik. Kung titingnan po natin, sir, more or less 180 million na po yung, kasi ang data po nito is February 12. More than 180 million doses na po administered as of this date, with 6 million doses administered daily worldwide po, sir. Kung sa makita po natin, sir, ang natin talaga, yung US at saka China po ang nangunguna, na meron silang average na 1.7 million doses daily. At nakikita po natin yung ating mga ibang countries, more than 20 countries. Nakita natin medyo mababa pa rin po yung kanilang uptake ng doses. The next slide. Sir, ang magandang balita, sir, based on the global data, yung anim na approved na vaccine ay meron na po silang kapasidad na more or less 10 meron na po silang more or less na 10 billion na vaccine. At the same time, yung merong trial data ng phase 3, Novavax at saka po yung J&J, may additional capacity na another 3.2 billion. So, more or less, meron po tayong total na 13.2 billion na capacity for 2021. Pero sinasabi nga po natin sa first quarter, second quarter, makakahirapan po rin tayo dahil kasi yung karamihan ng mga Western vaccine ay ginagamit po ng mga taga-Europe at saka sa Amerika po. So kung titingnan po natin, 7.8 billion po tayo, world population. Sa population po niyan is 5.5 ang adult, and then willing adult is more or less 4.0. So kung titingnan po natin yung supply and demand sa 2021, may possibility po natin na talaga yung ating vaccination program ay makakaya po natin sa 2021. Next slide, please. Yung ating yung preparation natin, nagkaroon na po tayo ng meeting sa 16 cities ng LGU at bukas nga po sa Davao City po tayo magmi-meeting para ma-check po natin ang preparation ng Davao City. Just in case na yung COVAX darating, magkakaroon po tayo ng tinatawag na vaccination po dito. Next slide, please. Nagkaroon po tayo ng simulation sa darating na 117,000 na vaccine ng COVAX. At yung Bureau of Customs po, sir, sumunod po sa inyong directive na 0 minutes po sila. Actually, from the aircraft, diretso po kaagad dun sa refrigerated van. So ang ginawa lang po chinek lang kung ilan ang bilang, but they never intervene doon sa sa packaging. So sumunod po, nandun kasama po namin si General Guerrero, nandun din po si Secretary Tugade, si Secretary Lorenzana, at saka si Secretary Duque. Nagkaroon po kami ng simulation. Maganda po yung naging result ng simulation at we have lesser minutes sa mga ginawa po natin ng simulation.
So, as far as we are concerned, tayo dito sa gobyerno, itong flow ng how the vaccines would be imported and doon sa finally sa storage, wala ng monkey wrench.
Wala na po, sir. Medyo ano po tayo, sir. Okay po tayo, sir. Lalo na po yung from the airport going to the storage. Nakuha po natin yung timing na napakababa po. At saka ang kagandahan nga po yung sa clearance sa custom, pre-clearing na po ang ginawa po. Sumunod po sa utos niyo po na talagang wala pong time na makukonsumo doon sa custom clearing. So 0 minutes po sila. So tiningnan lang nila ang boxes, binilang po nila, and then ano po kagad, naikarga po kagad sa refrigerated van. So maganda po lahat ang execution.
Actually, if I may say something about the customs, alam naman nila kung alam yan. That's why we are there, because nandiyan na yung bakuna. And there's really no need to tarry a minute longer in releasing the cargos. Kasi alam naman nila bakuna yan. And, you know, it is very important that they should be stored immediately upon ma-deplane yung mga bakuna. Wala ka nang nakitang problema dyan sa ano?
Meron pa po kami nakikita po sa internal po natin, lalo na po yung sa storage. Gagawin po natin ng paraan. So we are having another rehearsal internally. So yun po ang gagawin po namin, Mr. President. But all of the process ng simulation from the airport going to the warehouse, okay na po siya.
Matanong kita, itong ang problema na lang is nandito sa atin. Is there a problem within us that we have to surmount?
Yun na lang, very limited na po sa logistics. Nag-usap na po kami ng Secretary Duque, and then may ginagawa na po kami ng emergency procurement po.
And I ask you again, I asked this last time. Are we sure that we have the storage?
Sir, yung nga po sir natin na just in case na magkaroon po tayo ng influx, malaki po ang storage natin sa ating mga third party provider. Yung sa RITM, may mga limitation hanggang ano po yun, more or less 1 million lang po ang kaya sa Pfizer, and then sa Moderna very limited. And marami po siyang vaccine na 2 to 8 dahil po meron po tayong ongoing vaccination po ngayon. So ang po namin, magkaroon po ng third-party storage. Mamaya po iyan po ni Secretary Duque. So ang po natin, at least magkaroon po tayo ng mga third-party provider na kaya po hanggang Davao at saka hanggang Cebu.
Okay.
Meron po tayo sa third party. At saka po nag-usap na po kami ng World Bank na isa-charge po nila yung third party provider kasama po ng vaccine. For example, kung ang Pfizer is kunyari po $10 at ang service provider is more or less $1, isasama na po yun, i-approve na po yung loan, kasama na po yung service provider end-to-end para wala na po tayong problema. So pagka nagbili tayo ng vaccine, yung mga vaccine maker, meron po silang third-party provider. For example, Novavax, Unilab po ang kanilang napili. So end-to-end po ang service po noon.
It would be safe to say that for the month of January, wala pa tayong, we cannot start vaccinating people. Not yet.
Sir, hindi po tayo nagsimula noong January dahil ang po natin talaga na darating po yung more or less mga 1 million to 3 million po na po natin sa March at saka po yung February ay yung po COVAX at saka po yung Sinovac.
Meron darating.
Meron po. Yun po ang inaantay po natin. Kasi po ngayon, accomplish na po natin yung ating tinatawag na documentation. Ang kailangan na lang po nila is mapirmahan po nila yung tinatawag na indemnification agreement. Kung magkasundo na po sa indemnification agreement, wala na po tayong hadlang. Kasi meron na po tayong preparation, okay na po preparation natin. May EUA na po tayo sa Pfizer for the COVAX donation, at nakapag-comply na rin po tayo sa mga documentation po na hinihingi po ng WHO at saka Gavi.
So the ball is in the
Nasa kanila
Congress.
po. Nandun po sa Congress ang ball, at saka po nandun po sa WHO. So nasa Senado po ang ball po ngayon, kaya po nakiusap po kami kay Senator Tito Soto at saka po kay SPG na talagang mauna po talaga yung indemnification clause at saka po yung LGU approval po ng advanced market commitment, yung dalawa po na yon. Kaya po meron po kaming communication, Mr. President, na this bill should be certified as urgent. Yun po ang recommendation po namin sa last, na magkaroon po ng tawag nating certification of urgent. Itong dalawang bill po na ginagawa po ng Senado at saka ng Kongreso po ngayon.
Sana yung papel ngayon.
Nasa committee po sa Senado, Mr. President. Nag-usap na kami ni Secretary Galvez para ma-certify mo as urgent po ngayong linggo na to.
So, silin ko. Okay. Secretary Duque.
The usual report that I will make, Mr. President and fellow members of the Cabinet, and to Senator Bongo, Chair of the Committee on the Health and Demography, will be on the updates, usual updates po natin, with your permission. It will take a bit of time, 10 to 12 minutes.
Go ahead.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Magandang gabi po muli.
We should have the time to discuss what affects the interest of the people.
Yes, sir. Maraming salamat po. Magandang gabi po muli, mahal na Pangulo, at sa akin po mga kapwa kalihim. Meron pong dalawang bahagi ang akin pong pag-uulat ngayong gabi. Unang-una po yung atin COVID-19 situationer, at ang pangalawa po ay ang updates on the whole genomic sequencing na ginawa po ng ating Philippine Genome Center ng UP, ang ating pong National Institutes of Health, and also the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine. Ito po, next slide. Sunod nga yung yan. Okay. Ito po ang ating mga pangunahin mensahe patungkol po sa ating COVID situationer. Una, sa pangkalahatan po, nakakita pa rin po tayo ng pagbaba sa dami ng mga naitatalang kaso sa buong bansa. Ngunit may mga rehiyon tulad ng Region 7 at Caraga na nagpapakita ng patuloy na pagtaas. 8 lungsod naman sa NCR na nagpapakita rin ng pagtaas ng mga kaso. Ikalawang mensahe po para sa ating healthcare utilization rate. Lahat ng rehiyon ay nasa safe zone. Ngunit kung bababa sa panlalawigan o panglungsod na level, may mga iilan na lawigan at lungsod ang nananatiling nasa moderate hanggang critical risk level. At ang ikatlo po, kinakailangan ang agresibong pagpapatupad ng atin na response strategies upang masugpo ang pagkalat ng mga tinututukang variants sa mga areas of concern. Next slide, please. Ngayon pong ika-16 ng Pebrero, may nadagdag na 1,685 na bagong kaso. So ang pangkalahatan na kaso po ngayon, araw, ay umabot na ng 550,860 confirmed cases. At out of these, meron pong 27,588 currently admitted or isolated. At sila po ang may mga sakit, at ang katumbas po nito ay 4.72%. Doon naman sa recovery sa bandang kanan po, Mr. President, ay meron tayong 511,755 who have recovered, cases that have recovered, and accounts for 93% more or less. Sa mga pumanaw naman, ang ating pong case fatality rate as at 2.09%. 11,517 po ang atin na pangkalahatan bilang sa ngayon. Ang mga nakakalungkot po na mga pumanaw as a percentage po of the total confirmed cases, siya po ay 2.09%. Doon naman sa mga active cases, yung asymptomatic, mild or moderate ay 26,043 ang mga kaso, equivalent to about 94.4%. At ang severe or critical cases ay asa 1,545, equivalent to 5.6%. Patuloy po pakikipag-ugnayan natin sa iba't ibang rehiyon upang magkaroon tayo ng sapat na representasyon ng mga sample sa buong bansa at maging malinaw sa atin kung ito bang mga dumadaming kaso, bunsod ba ng mga bagong variants na ito. Pero sa ngayon, hindi pa po conclusive ang findings. So ito na lang po ang akin pong pinakahuling ulat, Mr. President, patungkol po sa ating COVID-19 situationer at handa po akong sumagot na po sa mga katanungan. Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo.
Salamat, sir, sa report ninyo. Anybody else? Kung wala na, let's proceed to this is not really a part of the program about COVID, but since we have started the practice of naming government officials were terminated sa gobyerno, yung mga malaking opisyal. So we begin with Edita Abdun, Division Manager, National Irrigation Administration, NIA, sa ng Bukidnon. Gross neglect of duty, dismissal ang binigay sa kanya ng ombudsman. Adelina Kalonge, administrative head, finance head ng Bukidnon, MIA. Leonola Tenestrante, principal engineer ng NIA, Bukidnon, dismissal sa serbisyo. Ito si Steve Dikdikan, General Manager, Mactan Cebu International Airport Authority, Department of Transportation. Grave misconduct, gross neglect of duty, at conduct prejudicial to the best interest of the service. 8 suspension for 6 months. Dapat ito dismissal Pero we bow down to what the ombudsman to meet Jesus Datoon, Division Manager, Antique, Provincial Office, NIA Region 2. Itong technical malversation of public funds, bagay. Ito yung mga malalaking opisyal na terminate at na-suspended. Ngayon dito tayo makababayan ko sa ating short talk. We are trying our best. Narinig naman ninyo si Secretary Galvez that we are in the process of really working towards the realization of our vaccine program. alam mo, you can only have about a good knowledge or at least an understanding of our COVID program once you hear me, ngayon sa gabi nito. But it does not come to you every day. So I have requested Secretary Galvez and si Secretary Roque sila ang magdala sa public information, and it should be given twice a week para you'll be better informed of what government is doing. Yan siguro ang paraan dyan. But I leave it to Secretary the press secretary to do the arrangements. Nandito si Carl.
Nasa online po.
Online
po.
Mr. President, I'm here po.
Okay. Okay, Carl. Thank you.
Thank you very
Sige. Introduce lang kita sa tao. Ngayong gabi nandito si Carl Chua to give us the update on ito yung acting NEDA General Director General ng NEDA. He is the guy who's in charge of at least giving the effort to ano ang ating ekonomiya, mga maabot natin ang mga ating objectives sa ating governance. He will continue to has been giving us the update, but he will still continue now para malaman mo. Carl, are you articulate sa Tagalog, vernacular?
Yes po. Opo, itatagalog ko po yung aking presentation.
Itagalog mo lang yung presentation mo. So you go ahead. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mag-share lang po ako ng slides, sandali po. Mr. President, magandang gabi po kay Senator Bongo, sa aking mga kapwa-kabinete at sa mga nanonood sa atin. Yung aking ibabahagi, yung kailangan po natin mag-shift sana sa lalong madaling panahon to MGCQ for the entire Philippines. Sana starting March 1, 2021, para i-address po yung hunger or yung mataas na antas ng mga Pilipino po na nagugutom. Yung ating quarantine restriction na ginawa since March of 2020, ang nagdulot po nito na total income loss na 1.04 trillion pesos in 2020. So on average po, araw-araw, 2.8 billion pesos po ng mga sahod, mga kita ang nawawala. On average po, ang annual income loss ng isang manggagawa ay 23,000 pesos per worker. However, alam po natin yung ibang sector po hindi po pinapayagan na mag-operate under yung ating community quarantine. At yung iba po nawala na ng trabaho. Kaya yung ibang workers po, mas malaki po ang tama sa kanilang sahod, sa kanilang kita at sa kanilang mga kabuhayan. So ang recommendation po namin ay dapat i-balance po natin. Meron pong nakitang kami survey na ginawa po ng Pulse Asia. Yung September, sabi po ng taong bayan, 39% say that we should balance both the economy and the control of the virus. Pero yung November, yung tumaas po yung hunger rate, 73% na ang nagsasabi na we have to balance the opening of the economy and the control of the virus. So hindi po naman natin sinasabi na ibukas lang natin yung ekonomiya at wag na nating pakialaman yung COVID cases. Kailangan po natin both. At nakita po natin na nagbukas po tayo last October at yung dumaan po yung Christmas vacation, hindi po naman umakyat yung COVID cases. In my concluding slide po, sa IATF meeting last Thursday, we presented the following recommendations which was approved by the IATF, and we hope for your approval also on the following. So given progress on the health side, and no spike in COVID-19 cases from the reopening of the economy last October and the year-end holiday, ang recommendation po namin, number 1, we further open the economy to MGCQ for the entire Philippines, especially NCR, starting March 21. And the main reason is gusto na po natin ma-mitigate or mabawasan yung sickness, hunger, poverty, job, and income loss that are arising from non-COVID cases. At kung kailangan, gumamit po tayo ng localized lockdown sa barangay or municipal level to address the local spread of the virus. Yung pangatlo po naman, nakita po namin na kulang po yung public transport natin. So we propose with proper safeguards, i-further expand po natin yung public transport from 50% towards 75% para mas marami po yung makabalik sa kanilang trabaho. Pangalawa po, to complement public transport with active transport support. Ito po yung tulad ng bike lanes kasi marami na pong Pilipino yung nag-shift to biking to work or to avail of their basic commodities when they buy goods. And finally, nakita po namin na kulang po yung inter-province bus operation natin. Marami pong mga manggagawa yung nag-ECQ, bumalik po sila sa probinsya. Ngayon po, hindi po sila makabalik na ganap sa kanilang trabaho. At yung pang-apat po, yung expand the age group allowed to go out. Of course, with safeguards din po. Yung letter A po, yung na-approve niyo na po dati na to conduct pilot face-to-face schooling in the low-risk areas, we are proposing, Mr. President, i-resume natin because nakita po natin na yung COVID cases at yung UK variant ay nakokontrol po natin. Yung pangalawa, and this is subject po to our discussion with the NCR mayors, is to gradually expand the age group allowed to go out. Ngayon po kasi 15 to 65 lang yung pwedeng lumabas. Ang proposal po namin, i-gradual natin yung pag-expand to age 5 to 70. At pwede natin gawing dahan-dahan in increments of 5 years, also with appropriate safeguard. Yung safeguard naman, pwede lang lumabas yung kabataan with their parents only, or initially they can go out to more open areas. At hindi naman ibig sabihin na pupunta sila sa malls. Pero kung pwede pong lumabas yung kabataan with safeguards, it will allow also their parents to work and get a job. So ito po yung aking presentation, Mr. President. At yung conclusion po nito ay kailangan po nating ibalanse yung pagtulong natin sa mga na-infect ng COVID compared also to those who are experiencing hunger na mataas na talaga sa NCR. Kaya po natin kailangan i-further open yung ating economy. So maraming salamat po.
Salamat, Secretary Chua. Now, I think we have reached the final phase of the program. May tanong ako sa iyo. Paano ko... alam ko na alam mo at alam ko ang sagot. Pero tatanungin lang kita nito. Kaya ikaw yung press secretary. Ikaw yung sasagot. Pero kung masagot natin ngayon, anong masabi mo sa statement ni Robredo pati ni Lacson regarding itong BFA na sinabi ko, if they want the BFA to continue, they pay. Itong dalawa, in short, si Robredo said that I was extorting money from, it's like extorting money from a friendly country. And so with Lacson, sinabi niya na ganito. But I think that yung Ang tawag nito, hindi ko kasi alam. Yung text nito, ano ba tawag ng isa? Yung mag-issue ka ng statement dyan. Wala akong alam yan kasi na marunong. Na it was deleted. Anong masasabi mo sa ano?
Well, Mayor, sinagot ko po sila kanina sa aking press briefing. Ang sinabi ko, sa larangan ng international law, meron po tayong prinsipyo na a state can incur state responsibility kapag pinayagan niyang gamitin yung teritoryo niya sa isang pamamaraan na makakasira sa ibang estado. Sa ngayon po, in-explain ko ang polisiya natin, independent foreign policy, lahat kaibigan, wala tayong kalaban. Pero dahil sa presensya po ng mga tropang Amerikano sa Pilipinas, at nagkaroon ng hidwaan sa panig ng China at ng Pilipinas, sigurado po tatargetin natin ng Amerika ang teritoryo natin, ng China ang teritoryo natin dahil pinayagan natin ang presensya ng mga Amerikano at kanilang sandata dito sa Pilipinas. At dahil nga po sa danyos na po pwede nating pagbayaran sa presensya ng mga Amerikano sa ating Pilipinas, dapat lamang na mayroon pong kabayaran ang mga Amerikano para manatili dito sila sa Pilipinas. At pinakita ko po, meron pong isang pag-aaral na pinakita at ang conclusion, napakaliit po talaga ng nakukuha ng Pilipinas. Historically, bagamat tayo po talaga ang kanilang unsinkable warship sa Asia. At ang comparison po ay between the Philippines and Pakistan. Ang Pilipinas, panahon pa po ng Death March, kaalyado na tayo ng mga Amerikano. And yet, doon po sa datos na pinakita ko kanina, $3 billion lang po ang nakukuha natin in terms of counterterrorism support from the United States. Ikukumpara po natin to sa bansa na gaya ng Pakistan. Ang Pakistan po, $13.6 billion ang naibigay ng mga Amerikano. Ikumpara po natin sa Turkey, ganun din po, halos 5 beses ang binibigay nila para manatili yung kanilang mga sundalo at ang mga militar sa kanilang bansa. Doon po sa issue na extortion, ang sabi ko, hindi po masama na dahil marami po tayong mga pangangailangan sa COVID para mabigyan ng implementasyon ng universal healthcare, ang libreng patubig, ang libreng tuition, hindi po masama na humanap tayo ng alternatibong mga pagkakukulunan ng pondo para po gastusin sa pangangailangan ng ating mga kababayan at hindi po yan extortion that is advancing the national interest.
To add to your statement, actually, ito naman si Robredo, abogado. I can't forgive Lacson because he is not. They should look at the Constitution. The Constitution of the Philippines provides that the foreign relations or foreign policy is vested in the President alone. Siya yung kaisa-isang well, I happen to be there. Kaisa-isang ano ang policy gusto niyang ipalabas for the Philippines is vested in the President and not with the senators or the Vice President. So, at least, yung sabi nila na extortion, well, I can forgive Robredo. Every time she opens her mouth, talagang when she forgets that she's a lawyer, and being a lawyer, she should know that the Constitution says that that is my function. It is not their function. At kung anong gusto kong sabihin para sa aking bayan, may purpose yan. Hindi kasi nila alam. Na alam ko noon na meron tayong binili na armas sa Amerika, it took them years to deliver. Practically using the money, our money, for so many years, then delivering the bago lang itong mga armas na dumadating. And second, itong Congress ng United States, magbili tayo ng helicopter, they denied because they say that we cannot use it against, well anyway, ayaw nila tayong pabigyan. Yan ang hindi alam kasi ng itong, I don't know, it's pretended ignorance kay Lacson, But itong kay Robredo, sabi ko nga, ma'am, kung ikaw ang presidente, hindi mo alam ang trabaho mo, huwag ka na lang dapat alam mo yan, abogado ka. That you should not be opening your mouth while we are negotiating because maraming kasalanan ang Amerika sa atin. Ang pagkaalam mo lang kasi, napunta ka ng Amerika, nagsalita ka doon, you were treated with almost as a royalty. Tapos ito ang nangyari ngayon, kakampi ka na walang rason. Wala hong... lahat dito sa babundong ito may hindi pera ang gusto kong hingiin sa kanila. Ganito yan ma'am, pati Senator Lacson. Tayo malapit sa China. The theater of war, kung mag-umpisa man, is dito sa China Sea. Ngayon, gusto nga natin, pinipilit natin na Amerikano tayo, we should be provided with the arms and armaments that's capable of at least that would place us on equal footing with the other countries at war with us. Kasi titirahin talaga tayo ng China. Ngayon, wala naman ang Amerikano, wala binibigay. You know, I have talked to so many military guys. Sabi nila, yung war games, it's coming, I think, on May. Ang Amerikano, magdala dito ng mga armas, mag-display sila ng mga equipments and everything. Tapos, ng war games, dinadala nila doon sa, tinuturuan nila ang Pilipino paano gumamit during the war games, and then after that, they go home and bring back their equipment. So, nandyan alam ni General Lorenzana yan. Yan ang lamentations ng Pilipino. Yan ang hindi alam ni Robredo. Ang pagkaalam kasi ni Robredo, parang we are nothing wrong with America and the Philippines. Hindi niya alam na kaya ikaw, ma'am, I'm sorry to say, you are not really qualified to run for president. You do not know your role in this government. Yung foreign relations with other countries is vested on the president alone. Kaya hindi mo alam kung mga pangyayari nung una, antecedent or precedent, na may ginagawa itong mga Amerikano parang tingin natin, outpost Ma'am, alam mo ba, ma'am, as a president, do you know that there are so many depots, the OBS depots? Maraming mga armas dito na nakalagay sa Pilipinas ang Amerika. And do you know that they are slowly converting Subic into an American base? Yan ang hindi mo alam at wala ka sigurong alam. Kaya huwag kang mag-alam, huwag kang magsalita. These are the things that are known to us because I have the reports and I have also the assessments given to me by the Armed Forces of the Philippines. At sinasabi nila kung ano talaga, what's the deal? Anong binigay ng Amerikano? Gawain lang tayong outpost, tapos mag-pro-American ka. Pagputok, ang unang siguro, tanungin kita, kung magsagot ka ngayon, ang unang matamaan kung magkagera ang Amerikano pati Philippines? Alam mo? Kung hindi mo alam, sabihin ko sa iyo, the meltdown will start in Palawan. It's the province that's facing the Spratly and everything there. Kaya hindi mo lang alam, in a worst case scenario, kung may isang gago dyan na magpaputok ng isang rocket, gulo na yan. And the Philippines invariably would be drawn into the vortex of a conflict that is called war. Ngayon, ang mga stations ng Amerikano, tinanggal nga natin yung basis agreement. I would like to read sa Necrological Services ni Siga. A statement niya why he voted to oust America from the bases. Dapat ito, Bicolano yun si Siga eh. I would address this to the Vice President. Excerpt from the speech of the late Senator Vic Ziga during the Senate voting on the U.S. Bases Treaty on September 16, 1991. He said, and I quote, "I refuse to ride on the crest of a fleeting popularity. I refuse to be deceived by fancy rhetoric and cheap propaganda. I refuse to sacrifice our national interest in exchange for a bundle of vague promises. Rather, Mr. President, I choose to continue to work for what I believe is right and just for our country. I therefore submit my action to the lasting judgment of history with my conscience and firm conviction as my cause. I vote to the non-concurrence and no, a conscientious no to the treaty." Taga Bicol yun, ma'am, at baka may it says or wala kang alam, sabihin mo lang na extortion. How can you say extortion? Nakaraming utang ng Amerikano sa atin, hindi pa tayo nabayaran, tapos sabihin mo extortion. May kinakabahan ako if by chance mapresidente ka. Medyo ako, basta pagka retired na ako dyan, kung presidente ka, I said, if by unfortunate chance you become the president, please study more. I think that you need a refresher course sa law. That is my advice to you. You do not use this word, mga extortion. When we say you pay, dapat talaga magbayad. Ang tingin mo sa ano ito? Tingin mo sa Pilipinas, koloni ng Amerika? Basta libre na lang lahat. Lahat ba? Tayo kung may bayad tayo. And we are at the mercy of the Americans, whatever they say. That visiting forces agreement may or may not continue depending on how the Americans will behave towards us. Hindi sabihin na pag sinabi nila, sige, yun na kaagad. I think you should, if I were you kung hindi ka manalo, you migrate to America and become an American citizen. And you can freely use the word extortion. How can that be extortion when you ask for a payment? Extortion. Maningil ka para sa bayan mo, extortion. The statement of Senator Siga during at that time. Ito maganda ito. I therefore submit my action to the lasting judgment of history with my conscience and firm conviction as my cause. I vote yes to the non-concurrence and no, a consensus no to the treaty. May isa tayong who was a great senator sa Bicol. Mabutit na lang. Ewan ko. Pero yun na lang po. Salamat sa iyo. Ito naman kay Lacson. Nag-ano siya, sa anong tawag dito, Twitter. Hindi ka magamit ang aking, ngayon Nokia pa rin Twitter. May sinabi rin siya na parang ganito rin, in the same fashion, in the same ni Robredo. Kaya lang dinilit niya, tinanggal. Probably he realized that the senators have no function at all in the matter of agreements dito sa it's vested with the president, and it does not need any concurrence from Congress. So the power to abrogate the visiting forces agreement nandito sa akin. I don't know. Kasi kung magkagera tapos mag-nuclear war, tapos nandito yung armas, nandito dyan sa Subic yung mga barko ng Amerikano, what do you think will happen to Bicol? It's too far away, but you know, it will also melt just like what would happen to the rest of the Philippines. It will reduce us into a barren land where you cannot plant anything except wait to die. The way to die, rather. Alam na, ano siguro si Lacson na alam niya na tinanggal niya. Pero ito sabihin ko kay Ping, you have been a very cunning and sa mga statement mo. Yung pa-slide mo sa mga sabihin ko sa iyo, and so many other things in the past where you were wrong, bihin ko sa iyo na you have nothing to do with this. I may accept your comments, but please use it in a way, total hindi naman ito use your use a language that will promote your person, your human being. Hindi yung basta-basta ka na lang mag-post-post dyan tapos without really finding out whether you are a part of it or not. Telling you are not. So next time, consult a lawyer in your office. And to the Filipino people, maraming salamat po.